Well, I do believe you're all on now, so we're good to go.
Aye.
I'm just going to wait to be healed.
1 second. I'm just trying to remember, mate. Limericks. What many words in a limerick? I can't remember.
Sendraks, you have a very wobbly Argen leaning on you, muttering words.
That's entirely consistent with
Everything that I do.
what I've come to expect.
Yeah.
I did just ask him to heal me, so I'm assuming that's what's happening. I mean, who am I to say?
Who are you to question?
Yes. In his infinite wisdom, by air consent, this musical drunken sot to assist me.
I just clear my throat a little bit and go, I'm hooked on the healing. I'm high on believing, baby. And I try to cast it.
Fucking
Cure wounds.
Wow.
There you go. You feel a warm bathing light around you.
And it's not just, it's a max roll of 11 points of healing. There you go.
Wow.
That's all I've got, bro. I've got 1 cure wound.
Well, do me. Thank you very much. I'm guessing I feel perkier than you do, Argen. Where have you been?
It's a long story. Well, it's a story I'm not really sure about, to be honest. But, let's start with your story. What's happened here?
We've been attacked by crocodiles and gorillas.
What, like
There was just one
wildlife?
gorilla, actually.
What? You've been what?
Is it like wildlife or just normal?
No,
They were quite annoyed.
I think there's some magical shenanigans involved by strange people on the riverbank. People who I think mean us ill.
Oh, is everyone okay then? We seem to have done well.
Well, we've all variously been healed now, so we're not feeling quite as rough as we did. But it was not a pleasant fight.
Oh dear.
Elantara, give me a perception check.
Fortunately, Bionic in his wisdom saw to give us
Probably
the
not.
power to give them a right thumping.
What did you get, Elantara?
7.
7? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're here this week.
Yay!
Nalla, are you there?
Yeah.
You have finished throwing the large ape over the side. You now see Argen stumble down the steps. Well, and you can clearly see he's done magic on Sendraks and his wounds have healed up a little bit.
Okay.
Etain is now speaking with Captain Ivory off to the side. And the large orc is sat slumped. You can see straight away that he looks exhausted because you felt it yourself when you come out of your barbarian rages. And the blonde-haired, blue-eyed is just comforting him at the front of the ship where they were, front of the ferry where they were before.
Okay.
The rest of the crew are pottering around. They've gone. You now see that the Orc and Goliath that Elantara healed up are up. They give thanks to Elantara and they go back. They go back up to the winch that they use to make the massive wooden water wheel that powers the ferry. It starts slowly chugging again. Etain and Ivory seem to be quite deep in conversation, and then Etain storms off into where all the rooms are.
Where's the blue one?
Don't know. I've not seen him.
The other one that's not here. Oh, is he in the room?
I don't know. I've been on deck fighting things.
Is Etain okay? What's going on? I will go sit down.
Right here. Anyone would think you've been in a fight.
You're and I is, you know I'm a lover, not a fighter, Sandra.
If you've been off loving, that's no business of mine.
I wish I could tell you the details. It's like
I wish you wouldn't. I really wish you wouldn't. I really do not want to know. But yes, where our blue dragon friend is, that would be. I'd be interested to know.
I think he's on the bank.
He's on the bank.
Sorry, what?
I think I've just seen him with the people that were attacking us.
Well, like with them or like
With
being
them.
backed off?
With them.
Oh.
Are you trying to tell me that the blue dragon has behaved entirely according to time?
Well, I just saw someone in blue with a white feather. And that person doesn't seem to be on here anymore, so...
I knew it. I knew we couldn't trust him. Blue dragons, chromatic dragons, all the same.
What is why can you not trust them?
Because they're all inherently untrustworthy and evil.
Have you ever met any other blue dragons? Did you not say that you grew up in a temple?
I've met other chromatic dragons.
You made it sound like you grew up in a temple and did not meet any others.
That's right. That's right, but I know bad ones when I see them. And they're usually chromatic.
What do you want to do? Do we need to chase this man?
Ideally, if circumstances permit it, I'd like to repeatedly apply my halberd to his cranium.
Well, we've got to stop the boat, right? We do that.
But then how are we going to get to Koran?
Well, we're not going to stop the boat and go after him. We're going to keep the boat moving and hope that he doesn't continue coming after us. But herein lies the problem. He, not being on this boat, is evidently not our friend. Which means, because he's been around and stuff for our planning, he will be aware of what we're planning to do in terms of disguising me when we get to Koran.
Do we 100% know that he is our enemy at this point? How do we know that he was not taken?
We seem to walk off quite freely.
Is that what you saw?
Yes.
Interesting. Perhaps he was going to gather information about them or something like that. We should not assume that he is an enemy.
Right. Maybe we should do what Sendraks says and maybe like wait until he comes back. If he comes back, then he's.
Then we will question him and not just act. Surely.
It'll be the bounty. People hear that number, their eyes light up.
But if it was the bounty, would you not have thought that he would have stayed and made the larger prey? He has no reason to run off. if it was the bounty.
Hmm.
If he was calling his allies into the act, nothing here alluded to him being a part of it. He should have just stayed with us. Is that not correct?
Well, not
I
all
understand.
people are as intelligent, and not all people are as intelligent as you.
Perhaps not, but it seems like even the most foolish of men could understand that.
Hmm.
Anyway, we
I'm-
should
You
press
are
on.
making a lot of sense,
Yeah.
but he probably is quite dim.
He's a tour guide of one of the largest Dragonborn cities, is he not? I would not expect they would employ somebody so stupid.
I thought it was Corey.
He is one of Etain's friends through they are tour guides of different cities.
Right. Okay.
So
Well,
Quran, I can't imagine Quran would pick somebody who is foolish to be a tour guide or a representation of their city.
Okay.
So I would argue that whatever he is doing is not perhaps what we think he is doing, or perhaps what
Then we.
Or maybe he thought we wouldn't have got off the boat. Maybe he thought we'd have all died on there.
why? If he was looking to
If
capture
he was with the
Sendraks,
people that set the crocodiles and the bloody big gorilla thing on
but
us,
does he have any?
then
Is there any reason why he would be for killing any of us? Surely, if there was the bounty in mind, he would have stayed around to pick up Sendraks and take him with him.
Why didn't we?
all I saw was him walking off with them, what looked like all three, no bounds or anything like that. He walked off with them willingly.
How do you know that he is not charmed? You have seen me kiss somebody, one of the succubuses.
Yeah, not something I want to see again.
I did not want to do that by my own free will. How do we know that the same thing has happened to Ragesh?
Okay. Well.
I would have
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
he'd have had
yeah.
something to stop that.
So perhaps we should rescue him. Why is that not something we should?
If we.
Why did he
well,
get off the boat in the first place?
From exactly what I have just said, perhaps he is not of his own mind.
What if we
Well, I'm
go
leaving
find
him.
him? If he's a bad guy, Sendraks can pound the shit out of him with a pole axe. If he's with us, we take him back and he's still our tour guide.
So the two options that we have are press on and continue to further into Etoria, or we go after him and try and either rescue him, interrogate him, but I would argue that whatever those creatures are that took him, or who he is with, had more power than we could handle, because it took us and the crew to face a small number of what they had, I'm assuming.
It's
So
okay.
Perhaps suggest that Ragesh is not in a position where we can help him, which sounds bad, but we cannot do anything for him right now. So we press on and try and perhaps keep an ear out for him, but there is nothing we can directly do right now that I would think would be beneficial.
Isn't it like Etain's friend though?
It is Etain's friend, but I'm assuming she knows other tour guides, or
You can't just replace
She
a
can.
tour guide.
no, but I'm assuming she knows other tour guides, or when we get to Quran, she can perhaps drop off a message that something has happened to him. It will be some time from now, but there is probably nothing that we can do for him either way. If he is an enemy, we cannot stop him right now. If he is a friend, we cannot save him right now.
Yeah, okay.
So we
That
should
sounds
probably press on. We should rest up, because I myself am rather in pain, and head further into Etoria.
Wisdom on this, Malzette. I think you're very wise.
Right.
And if we do see him
What are we
again,
going to
we
do
will
about
ask.
you then, Titan? If he is under some kind of mind control and he has told him the plan, then everyone there knows you're now walking in looking like a different dragon.
Do
And if he's not under anyone's mind control and he's a baddie, he's told them the plan, and everyone knows that I'm walking in as a dragon in
Exactly.
disguise. So
when we get to tool, we come up with a different plan.
unless they're expecting us to come up with a different plan, and going ahead with the plan is the last thing they'd expect us to do.
Perhaps, but we could maybe think of something in tool. Perhaps find some magical items or something like that can help a better disguise. Rather than try and disguise your color, we can disguise you as something completely different.
What if we just balls out and just walk in there? Maybe we're overcomplicating the plan, sorry.
Because we do not know what they want Sendraks for. And if we balls out, walk in there, and they try and grab him, we can't stop him. It is a city full of Dragonborn. I can imagine that the person who rules that is not going to take kindly to us just being like, hey, we're here. So we press on into Etoria to Tool, and we either decided it is too dangerous to go to Koran in the first place, in which case we just try and keep Sendraks safe, or we come up with another plan to disguise Sendraks as something completely different.
Okay.
Something completely different.
Everybody agree?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agree.
So, the ferry is bobbing along. It's going at a pretty decent pace right now. You can, a quick glance, you can see that the Orc and Goliath are, they're going for it. They're trying to put a bit of extra humph into this water wheel to get the ferry going a bit quicker than its normal cordial jaunt speed. Ivory's now, the civvies have come out of the roomed area and they're now walking on the deck and stuff like this, and the kids are pointing at the bloodstains and stuff on the floor, and ooh and ah. And you can see that the grown-ups are sheltering the children, and Ivory's going round and speaking to them all, calming them all down, and doing the whole hearts and minds. She goes and speaks with the old blondie blue eyes and the big orc. They have a conversation at the front. The big orc is knackered, but and just still slumped in a sitting crouch position again, with his back against the wood. Blue eyes nods, smiles, puts his hand on Ivory's shoulder, and you can see comfort. You can see her visibly like relaxed. She's kept her straight, shoulders back, straight up, posture. Rough guess. She's in charge of a ferry. This, you know what I mean? She's not captain of the high seas or anything. And she's relieved. Blue Eyes gives her a little smile and a wink and goes back to his orc friend. She comes down and she makes her way over to you guys. She sort of not avoids Nalla, but puts herself furthest away from Nalla. She's almost looking at her with fear. Not like petrified fear, but she's definitely got an air of caution around Nalla. And she's like, so is everyone okay? I know I asked before, but I'm just trying to get to grips with what's happened. You all handled yourselves very well. Luckily, we had yourselves on here, not just the townsfolk.
Do you often get raided?
We do have bandits sometimes try. I mean, we hold no real cargo that's worth stealing. I suppose a bit of food for the crew, but most people come with what they own. So we have had raids in the past, but no one attacks the ferry if there is the likes of yourself on the ferry. We do many trips from Cruel to Tool. But if they've got anyone who's even remotely able, we've never been touched. The only time we've been raided when it's just townsfolk. Hence, me and my crew, she pats the scimitar at her side. But as you can see, we're not. We've never. I mean, those crocodiles were larger than any we've ever seen. I don't even think crocodiles are this far down there the river. They're further west in their swampy lands. And as for that I can only describe as abomination of nature. the white creature. That's never. I don't even think I was conscious when that turned up, so I'll stop describing it.
Or like local tribes or anything on the riverbanks who might have magics like that.
There are further along when we get towards Tool. Tool is on the south bank, and into the north bank. It's a very heavily forested area, and you do get some tribes, but they're very spiritual tribes. They're very peaceful. They're not, they're generally quite caring folk. I mean, they carry weapons to obviously protect themselves, and you are on the still on the continent of Heroes Rome, so there's still creatures out there you don't want to be bumping into, but yeah, they keep themselves to themselves, and they probably keep hidden more than attack the ferry. I mean, we're just a ferry. It's not like we have anything of worth. Do yourselves have anything of worth? Do you have any enemies?
I do not believe so.
No.
We're trying to establish ourselves rather than we have already got something worthwhile.
Nalla's the best chef in Crawl.
Yes, Nalla. You're quite formidable in battle, and she won't make eye contact with Nalla.
Don't get me wrong. We've been in a few scraps with people, and we fought some right bad ones, but none of them.
So as most people in Crawl, I suspect.
Yes, none of them in any way resemble what we've just dealt with here. This is something completely new.
She appears a little bit distracted, and she's like, I hope Ragesh is okay.
We've not seen him.
Yes, Arana, the goblin. She informed me that Ragesh was missing. It's not like him to run off. He's not at danger anyway. He's quite the survivalist.
I'm sure we can try and perhaps dig some more information about what has happened to him when we get to various places, whether it be a Tool or Etain has many friends, many places. You can perhaps put some feelers on.
Well, my order to Mush and Kana, and she points towards the Goliath and Orc, are to just keep going until they drop and get as much distance as we can. I know it's only a ferry, but
well, can we give them a hand with that, because they'll get tired and stuff. And
you
I
certainly
don't
can. I would only recommend the no offense intended to anyone, but the strongest of you will help them out. It's a very simplistic but physically tiring job.
Sounds just like my gig. I can do that.
Unfortunately, we only have healing herbs on the ship, so if we get into another fight like that, your magics, we're so grateful. Thank you.
I can help on keeping people alive and Elantara as well.
Thank you. Elantara, she's got a red scarf around her neck, and it was blue the day before. She takes the red scarf off and she hands it to you. Thank you for healing my crew. It's much appreciated. We are just simple sailors that rarely see the open sea. It's not often people go out of their way to use their magic for us.
I'm a mountain druid. I couldn't be more at sea unless it was salty water around us. If I can assist the people that keep us afloat, I'm more than happy to.
Yes, we will do our best. Now,
thank you.
I'll carry on making sure the crew are okay and the lesser powerful folk are okay. I could probably do with a drink myself later. And she sort of gives a nod to all. Gives like a half nod to Nalla, but again, she's a little bit fearful to make eye contact, and off she goes. Do you have any plans, or do you wish narration to carry on?
I'm going to pop and check my books because I want to see if I've got something I can use to help the eyes pushing the wheel Somebody help with strength or constitution.
Okay, so you're sorting your spells out.
Yeah.
I think
So whilst
somebody should have a
Elantara,
board.
sorry, hang on, hang fire, lad. Stop role
All
playing.
right. Yeah, okay.
Elantara, while you're concentrating on, just having a bit of a quick thing to see if you can use any of your newly found druidic magic to enhance this lot. You have a little bit of rummage in your satchel that you brought with you, and
Which is mostly full of mistletoe
it is,
and
but
twigs.
you find a foreign object there. It's a circular object. When you put your hands in there, there's a circular object there. It's cold to touch. It definitely wasn't in there before. It's again about the size of a tennis ball, and it seems to have a strange parchment-esque feel on one side of it.
Interesting. Okay, let's draw this out and try and subtly have a look at whatever it is.
So you take it out, and it is a half black, half silver orb. Again, about the size of a tennis ball, and shoddily tied to it, more attached to it, is a rolled up piece of parchment. When you open the piece of parchment, it just says, "Look after him." That's all it says.
Does this look like the balls that were thrown onto the ship boat?
You weren't there for
Those look like familiar.
It looks
those look
you
like
lot.
familiar
It
balls
looks
to me.
exactly like the balls that were thrown on the ship.
I have seen those balls before.
How lucky we are to have someone so experienced with us.
Uh,
Can we all see this?
I'm going to turn around and go, I don't know where this came from. I didn't pack this. Why don't you put this in my bag?
I'm not in the habit of putting things in other people's bags.
That is what they attacked us with. What does it say?
It's
Does it
got
have,
a note with it.
What does the note say?
It says to look after him.
Right?
do you mind if I take a look? It might take me a little bit of time, but I can see if it is magical, or you can sit with me while I do it.
Yes, let's do that.
So are you going to?
I'll spend the next 10 minutes identifying it.
So in the next 10 minutes, while you guys are potting around and rocking around, you see Malzef and Elantara just sit cross-legged on the deck, and he puts the black and silver orb in front of him on the floor. He gets out his spell book, sets it aside, starts doing his. Well, I'm assuming you've seen him do it before with other magical items. Malzef, as you're concentrating and you're focusing on this black and silver orb, you see. Imagine you are looking at an encyclopedia of creatures. Yep, you can't focus on any of them, and you can't recall what any of them were. You just know they were creatures. What you do get from it is there is some sort of dimensional energy about the orb. So coming towards the end of the 10 minutes, you can truly believe that there is a almost pocket dimensional flavour to this orb, that whatever's within it stays in that pocket of space and time within this little orb. And if this orb was to be damaged, then that would be released. Knowing what you just saw during the fight, when the orbs hit the deck and broke and the crocodiles appeared, you believe that there is, and this is currently humming with enough magic to make you believe that it is holding something within.
Okay, is there
Makes
any way
sense.
to get it out without damaging it?
No, oh, sorry. So you know that it is a one-time thing, that these things are quite fragile. So once broken, whatever's in there will come out, and the item will be destroyed.
Interesting.
I really want to get excited about having a pet crocodile, but that's not in character at all.
What languages do you all speak?
Abyssal.
Elvish, Druidic, Common.
I speak Common, Giant, and Infernal.
Infernal, yeah, in common.
Okay, cool. Carry on.
Speak Common, Draconic, and Orc.
You speak Orc?
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Because he's always go well. Actually, they did last week. That can't possibly happen again.
25.
If I roll 25, something has gone severely wrong with the universe. Just saying.
Eddy,
15.
you just come here a minute.
Why?
Because I don't know what the hell's going on with this.
Oh, because it's changed.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
Don't worry. You just have a look, love, and when we come to it, I'll come up, okay?
I don't know what
At least you
language
don't
I
have to find
speak.
where your spells are gone.
Don't worry about it. Sendraks, the
You've all
little
done
piece
that.
of parchment that Elantara was reading, you managed to get a cheeky side glance, and even though it's written in common, it says, look after him, it's got a very, orcish style to it.
Do I recognise the handwriting?
Yeah, it's got an orcish style to it.
Right. Okay. And what I'm saying is, it's not handwriting I've seen before.
No, you wouldn't go, oh, that's Brian from up north. You
No.
just realise that it's got a bit of an orcish, personality to the way the letters are written and the way they scroll.
Hmm.
Is there any other text on the orb?
There is a single arcane symbol
Mhm.
that you'll recognise as the School of Conjuration.
Okay. So I think
Are you not hiding us away? You can all see this, right?
Yep, it's in the floor in front of him. He's staring at a black and silver tennis ball.
Etain. Is Etain there?
Etain went as she stormed off after talking to Ivory back to her room.
I was going to see if she recognised the handwriting.
perhaps for now just keep hold of it,
All right.
and we will see if we can learn more when we're in Tour. See if there is a magic shop or something like that who can help us with it. But I think everything that I said is what we are going to know of it. Until if we broke it open, we might see what's inside, but then we have no way of.
Don't want to break it open. No. Ixnay on the breaking open.
Intelligence check, Malzef.
Uh, 13.
13. Okay. There is no more powerful way of identifying an item than what you've already done.
There.
So even if you were to take it to one of the most powerful wizards in the land,
That's all I'd be able to say. Yeah.
the same feedback.
I figured. Cool.
Would the note be?
Argen, give me a history check.
How old I should. 7.
Cool. Carry on.
Yeah. Is the note? Would the note correspond to something to do with Elantara or maybe the orb? Elantara, do you know anything about what that would call? No.
It just appeared in my bag, which I carry on me. So how it got there?
The only person we have, the small goblin girl. I think is it a goblin girl?
Yes.
Yeah. The small goblin girl was hanging around the area in which you were trying to sit, and she was. She even kind of positioned herself in that kind of area. Perhaps we should talk to her.
All right.
Right.
And it was also the goblin girl who has told us Ragesh isn't here. Perhaps now thinking about it, she might have said he's not here, but he is.
Okay. Well, we should go speak to her then.
Does one of you want to?
She's not. She's towards the other side of the flatbed, and you can see her just sweeping up the shards of the orbs. and she's got a bucket of water that you assume she's going to start scrubbing the deck with.
Do one of you want to go and speak to her? I'm not. My features sometimes aren't very. Although it is a goblin, I guess.
I can try and be nice.
Perhaps.
Yeah, what are we asking though? What before I go just walk in there? About the orb itself, or about the lighting, or
perhaps if we can try and coerce the information out as to whether she had anything to do with this, if she knows where Raigesh is, or if she knows what the orb is, if she put it there, that kind of thing.
I'll go up to the goblin lady.
Okay, as you go up to her, you brush it away, and you approach. You brush the wrist, turns around, she goes, hello.
Hi, I'm Argen. That was crazy, wasn't it? I mean,
yes.
Do you want any help, or could you do it?
No, I'm okay. It's okay.
What's your name?
My name is Arana.
Alana.
Orana.
Arana. Ah, that's a very pretty name.
Thank you. And she sort of brushing with her head down.
Did you get that often here with these little? And I like point at the glass shard. Is that a common thing around here?
It's not common.
It's not common. So you've seen it before, then, by the sound of it.
She nods.
Yeah. Well, do you know what they are? I didn't see much of it. I just saw this kind of map. I'm just kind of interested.
I don't know what they are, but I've seen them before.
Do you know where they come from?
Just cruel people who make things.
Oh, okay. From cool. Did you see? I'm asking this to my friend as well. Let's say you saw a big blue guy, a big blue dragonborn with a white feather. Good by the name of Raigesh.
She gets a bit of a broad smile on her face, and then goes a little bit shy. She goes, "Oh, yeah, Raigesh."
Yeah. Ah, that's the good guy. Yeah. You see where he went?
He jumped over the side into the water.
Can I? Do I get any sort of inkling she's not telling me everything she knows, or
Inside.
Got 15.
15. So she seems to be forthcoming, and she doesn't appear to be trying to lie to you. She definitely thinks highly of Raigesh. Just her body language changes when you speak of Raigesh. She almost stands straighter up when you speak of him. When you talk about the black orb, she's a little bit. She avoids your eye contact. She's not as confident talking about the orbs as she is Raigesh.
See, I don't know if this is right. I kind of get sort of. I lean in and like, look.
She stands on her tiptoes.
I think Raigesh may be in trouble.
Why?
He jumped off the boat and he ran away with some bad people, we think. We just need some more information about those black orbs, maybe who those people were. If you could help me, we could try and find Raigesh. I believe he might be in trouble.
Persuasion check.
It's my fucking bag.
3.
17.
The orbs. I gave your friend an orb.
Right, okay. So you know more about the orbs than you're letting on, right?
No, yes. So, do you know Olaf?
I do know Olaf, yes. I know of him. I don't know personally, but
He gave me
everyone knows Olaf.
He gave me 5 gold coins to put the orb in the blue-haired lady's bag.
Right, okay. What, with the little note?
Yes, but I didn't read the note.
That's fine, that's fine. So, you're saying the orbs come from Crawl and they're coming from Olaf?
Well, this one came from Orlov. The others are what? I just think the people in Crew make them. They're really good at making things. They make lots of powerful things.
Right, okay. Do you speak to Ragesh a lot, or?
Well, he uses the ferry when he's coming from Koran to go to Crew, but it's been a few months since he's passed this way.
Do you know if he's got any friends around here? I mean, obviously, he's a very friendly guy. He's got lots of friends around.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I can only think Ragesh has as many friends as he does enemies, or as many enemies as he does friends. I know him and Etain are friends. They're really good friends.
Right.
Is Argen speaking to her privately?
Are you speaking to her privately?
I went over. I don't know whether anyone else is coming over.
Are you whispering?
No, I just lent in to speak.
Yeah,
to
you can hear bits and bats of the conversation enough to see that they're, what they're talking about.
I shall trundle over.
She semi-backs it, so as you're talking to her, Argen, she looks over your shoulder and takes like 2 steps back. Not in ultimate fear, just caution.
just cosmic.
That a shadow comes over you. I
look as she steps backwards. I look at Sendraks and I'm like, oh no, Sendraks is one of my friends. He's trying to help us find right.
He's powerful.
He is a strong man, isn't he? Eh?
Hi all.
Hello.
Hello, little goblin. I've a question for you. Because you saw Ragesh getting off the boat, right?
I saw him jump over. Yes.
When did he jump over? Did he jump over before the fight started, or when the fight started? And when did he jump over during the fight?
He jumped over just after the fight started.
Just after the fight started. And which direction was he headed in?
He went on. He swam over to the north bank, that direction.
The north bank, where that's where they were, isn't it?
Well, I believe that the orbs came on from both sides, didn't they?
Right. Right, yeah. Thank you.
Sendraks, the orbs have come from the orb in Elantara's bag has come from Olaf.
That's very nice of him. Why is he giving us an orb?
I don't know. He just gave me 5 gold coins to make sure the blue lady got it.
All right. 5 gold.
I'm going to wander over at the why is he giving us an orb and said, well, apparently for it to be looked after.
See?
So he's giving us an orb to look after an orb.
I don't know.
Right, hold on. What does the message say again? The message
look after him.
Look after him. Is there a him inside this orb?
Can we all hear this?
You know there's something.
Can we all hear this?
You don't know what it is. Yeah, you can hear them. They're all talking.
I wonder. I'll be like, Elantara, my friend. I would probably.
Arana is now like, I'm surrounded by very large people.
I would probably put money on in that orb is tiny.
What?
You got on well, right? You got on well.
It won't be actually tiny though.
I can. You got
Yes,
on well.
yes, I got on well with Tiny, but there's a strong bond between Olaf and Tiny.
Maybe
Perhaps another
he saw something
like
bigger.
Tiny.
Open it up. Break
Why
it.
would he put
Yes,
his
I'm
dog
going to open
in an
it.
orb and
Break
give
it.
to us?
Can't hear you, Giles.
I would stand back and...
Why would he put his dog in an orb and give it to us?
You saw the way that Elantara was with Tiny. Perhaps you thought it might help us.
Right, well, let's
Well,
settle this. Let's move
I'm
over
going to
here to
stand
somewhere
back.
quieter.
I'm going to get literally inside the cabin.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
going to
take
kind
some
of
time.
just, I don't know, minimum safe.
I'm still kind of hoping for a crocodile.
You're waiting for the blue dragon, yeah? So, Elantara, what are you doing?
I would piss myself if this was a fucking silver scale dragonborn.
Ka-ching!
Double money.
Thank you, little goblin girl. What you've done is appreciated.
It's okay.
Oh, he's cute. Right, anyone that wants to know what's inside the orb, why don't we go inside?
I would break it on
I
the
think
deck.
we've got enough
Yes.
magically appearing animals.
I'd break it on the deck so we're not... Because there's a lot of
Yeah.
other people that blow.
Let's
Oh,
not,
yeah, there isn't there.
Let's
I-
not, you know, if it's a
Right, where's a
crocodile,
quiet corner? Is there a quiet corner behind some barrels or something?
Eddy, we're on penalties. And he's just saved the 5th penalty. Sorry to break character.
Sorry, 2 seconds.
So, 2 Colombians.
walk into a bar.
Get these magic balls, right?
I'll be back. I'll be back. So there. Yeah. So we score.
David
Yeah, yeah.
Seaman
3-0.
signed from Hernan Crespo in San
Diane.
Etienne 20 years ago.
3-4.
No England keeper has saved a penalty in the shootout since then. He's put Eric Dyer on the verge of winning this cup tie for
It'll be
England.
fine.
England!
England's historically done their own penalty shootout.
You guys were a bit late. I just said England.
Quarter-finalists again.
Yeah, well,
And
they're
they
late, right.
done it on
You
penalties.
shouting England, but me not. I just think you're wrong.
The show goes on, and England have a
Look,
part in
I've
it.
seen it on here.
Into the last 8 for the first time since 2006,
Right.
and into a last 8 with no obvious favourite, and with the knowledge they can win a penalty
I've
shootout.
never seen a Welshman so excited about an England victory.
Got
3,
money
2,
on
1. 3, 2, 1. Back in the room. Elantara, what are you doing?
Right, looking for a quieter space. So behind some barrels, or is there any way around?
Well, there's a few barrels off to the right of the, but it's basically a wide flatbed, and it's about 70 feet from the door to the room areas to the front, and about 65 feet left to right.
Okay.
It's a large
Plenty of
flat
space.
area. Yeah.
Okay, people kind of stand around and let's see what comes out of this.
Be gentle with it though. Maybe like don't like pound it into the floor. Just kind of like crack it like an egg.
I'm going to hold it very delicately and
You bop.
just let it drop.
It hits the deck and just sort of rolls.
Maybe it needs a little bit more impact.
Can I tap it with my stick?
You can indeed. You're gonna put a bit of effort in.
And make sure you do not roll like it elsewhere, if that makes sense.
Oh, into the water.
Somebody hold it
Put a
still.
bit of effort in.
Somebody hold it still so it doesn't roll around the ship.
We're not golfing.
We do not want to lose it.
Oh, okay, right. Remain in full eye contact with Elantara while I hold this ball in my hand and she gets a stick.
Okay, Argen comes over and holds it like a golf ball.
Eddy, close the door.
Just put it on the floor and support it with your foot.
Split it on the foot. Okay, alright, okay. Alright.
Tap.
Roll a d20. And add your strength modifier.
Do I even have a strength modifier?
Probably not.
I do! 6.
What'd you get?
6.
6? Jesus. So, he holds it. Argen's there, and Argen sort of looks away, and you go, think. Think. You feel you stick at it, but you're a little bit hesitant to give it a good whack.
Mileseth, the correct way to open this is to smash it, is it?
There we go.
Yes. I'm now going to proper go inside, not even just stand at the door.
Mileseth,
All
is
right.
the correct way to open it to
Yes,
smash it?
yes, it is. Yes, it is. I move behind the door.
Do you want me to smash the orb? Or not?
Go on then.
I'm not holding
Right.
it.
Elantara and Argen step away from the orb. Sit still on the flatbed.
I'm going to regret this. I'm going to get eaten by a fucking crocodile. What is it? It's my D20 plus strength bonus,
Somebody
yeah?
still has to hold it.
Okay.
Crocodile would be a really rubbish pet for a mountain druid.
Like croquet it. So if you hold it with your foot.
18.
18. So Sendraks walks over with his halberd, looks at it, raises his halberd straight up, doesn't go into fighting stance, just goes boof. As soon as he hits it, brown smoke, a little couple, 2 or 3 blue sparks appear, and
Crocodile!
Sarah, you have a message.
God, my computer can't cope with this.
You're dead. Hey.
Eaten by some sort of void thing.
So, as the smoke dissipates, it's all very quick. There is a large 4-legged, brown-furred beast slobbering, and it just leaps at Elantara, licking her face. And you all see
Yay!
the Mastiff.
Actual tiny. I'm surprised.
The orb is shatters into about 30 pieces.
I open the door, not enough to see me, and I'm like, is it open?
Miles,
It's okay, it's safe.
You were right.
I told you. Let's throw the door open.
Solid guess.
It wasn't a guess. It was a...
An educated guess.
No.
For your
Absolutely
information, Elantara, Tiny on, if you take him into combat, will go at the same time as you do. Or,
Okay.
Yep. So you control him completely. If you forget, he misses his goal.
Okay.
Harsh. But fair.
No pressure, but he's all yours.
It's now become protect the dog.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all about the dog now. Anything happens to the
Nalla, you
dog.
need to think of a new name.
Nothing can happen to the dog.
Nothing
There's
can happen to the dog.
Elantara, as he's pinning you to the deck, licking your face,
Where's that good boy?
he's got a thick brown leather collar on, and there are three red gems, like I don't know what word, sunk into the leather around the front area.
Have I seen gems like this before?
Nope, you've heard of them, but
Okay.
you don't see a lot of gemmery up in the mountains. Gemmery, there you go. There's a word.
So, from what I learned from the goblin lady, these orbs they tend to she said they're made a lot in cruel. So whatever's following us, throwing these things at us, came with us. He's always at least following us.
Or at least buy supplies from crew.
Yeah, I was going to say, to keep up with the ship is quite because I thought they were running alongside it at some points.
Could Ragesh have ordered like assassins or something?
Perhaps, but it seems like a strange move.
Money makes people do strange things.
If he has jumped off the ship, it is a...
Yeah, I get that being a strange move.
But anyway, we should press on if we're going to tour.
We've not stopped the boat.
Yeah, what I'm saying is like we should not try and overthink it until we have more information to go on.
Yeah.
We should get to tour and
Well
perhaps look into it a little bit more there if we can get Etain to chat to some people. But...
So throughout the day, you guys have had your little conversations. Tiny follows, never leaves Elantara's side. Very, very affectionate, nuzzling into her. Does not like Blondie with the blue eyes or the orc. gives a very casual when they come anywhere near you. Everyone else, Tiny appears to be quite happy to see, but stoically never leaves Elantara's side. It is now it's past tea time. Sit down, you eat your things. None of you have seen Etain since the fight. The woodland at the side of the river, especially on the north bank, remains quite heavily forested, and it's harder and harder to see now past 3 or 4 trees. What's going on? On the south bank, the trees become too thin. So, not overly, but you can tell there's a very big difference between North Bank and South Bank. Orc and Goliath, you can see they're terribly tired, sweating, aching. They're constantly brought water by the goblin. Sendraks and Nalla. You there, Nalla?
Yeah.
Yeah, just because your camera's gone. Sendraks and Nalla, they go over and obviously give a offer of help, and Mush and Carey. So yeah, you fucking go for it, knock yourselves out. You two don't even need to do a strength check. As soon as you get hold of it, you just lean into it, and it almost becomes a casual competition. Nalla is just so competitive when it comes to turning the winch, and Sendraks is just so used to physical labour from up north. It just becomes easy. And it doesn't take you long before you two are in sync and turning the water wheel faster than it's ever been turned before. Again, you were brought water by the goblin. She's very helpful, comes over, brings you non-river water to drink. Malzef, after the description Captain Ivory gave you about coming towards the evening and stuff, that the water would be a bit saltier as we come closer to the sea, she comes over and just gives you a nod to let you know it's about now. Don't take long before night falls. You all eat whatever you've got in your backpacks, dry rations, etc. A couple of berries. Argen, you go about playing your music again. Sendraks, you'll probably do a prayer. I said probably. You'll do it. None of you have still seen Etain. It's now about 10 o'clock at night on the second day, and you are aware that you'll get to Tool the afternoon of tomorrow. Ivory lets you know that now at this time of night you can see that on the south bank. Let me just find this. Sorry, on the south bank that the trees are so much thinner now. Like it's getting to the point where it's becoming more plainlands. The temperature's changed. It's a lot warmer here than it was in Cruel. It's got a very Mediterranean-ish vibe to it. As you come closer, you can feel the air is just warmer and a bit more humid. There we go. And you see, let me see if I can get this to you guys. It's night time, and you can see that Ivory and Byron, one of the human lads that was helping before, one of the crew, they're looking at a map, and it's up by the steering wheel, and they're looking at it by candlelight up on the top deck and stuff. And Ivory looks down and sees you guys on the deck and just waves in all of your general directions to come up onto the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you get there, she calls you over to a little fold-out table and shows you, if you look in chat, shows you the map. If I do this. Sorry, 2 seconds. Can you... Oh. Just share. I do. Can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Right, so... how's that going? Is it zooming in?
Yep.
Not very far though, is it? That's a bit rubbish. Right, so you guys are, if you look to the left of the map, and you can see a place called a Gruta that Ogolakano hold. Can you see that? On the left-hand side. So if you come down from the top left, the first piece you get, the water that's coming from the left to right, so that little area. Can you see my mouse as well?
Yeah. See your mouse.
That'll be loads easier. So this is where you guys are coming in on your ship, and Ivory will take you through here. And by the afternoon, she tells you will be here at Port Tool. Ogolakano hold is high, it's cliffs. So as you're coming in, you can see this bit of greenery here. So this evening, you are about there. You're just approaching. It's a bit of a more plainlandy area, and then you can see this greenery here, and you can see high cliffs in the distance. She points out to you that by the morning you will have passed those high cliffs, but if you're up during the night, you may see the walls of the town of Ogolakano.
We'll definitely be doing a watch again.
Cool. So North Bank, as you can see on this map, you can't see where the forest finishes, but by the time we get to 1 o'clock in the morning ish, Ivory reckons that you probably won't be able to see the forest anywhere. So if there is anyone on North Bank or South Bank, you'll clearly be able to see him because there's nowhere to hide. Not at this vicinity anyway. So she asks you what your plans are for the night.
Not getting drunk with Mr. Zaklava.
You haven't seen Mr. Zaklava all day.
We should go and check on Etain. We haven't seen her all day.
So perhaps we make sure she is okay, keep a watch, and carry on until tomorrow afternoon.
Sounds good. Where on that map, Eddy, where are we actually heading to?
You are heading to here. Can you see my mouse?
Oh, right, just a Port Tool.
Port Tool. That's the destination of the ferry.
Oh, no, where is the destination for the... Where's the city?
Quran?
Yeah.
If you... In fact, am I in London?
Eddy, click on that picture again. And then, do you know when the bottom bar comes up with like pictures, scroll back and you can see the world map.
Yeah, I'm just going back like this, it's easy. There you go, can you see this one?
Just about.
Yeah, it's not very good.
Oh yeah, I can see it now, I can see it on mine. Yep.
There we go. So, where it says Etoria Empire and it says E, that is where you guys are about now.
Yep.
If you can follow my mouse just up the coast, you'll get to Port Tool. And Quran is up here through this channel up here.
Oh, Christ.
From Port Tool, Ivory's told you this, so you were told it'd be 2 weeks by ship. From Port Tool to Quran, it's nearly 1,000 miles, nearly. It's about 800 miles. On a decent ship, you should get there in about 11 days. And with the 3 days of what you've had here, that's 14 days, 2 weeks. Yep.
Okay. Let's do this thing.
Alright. Fucking professionals here, lad.
Professional. I'm a professional.
So yeah. So Ivory says, well, look, this is our route. I mean, obviously we'll get you to Tool. What are your plans for the night? Do you want to just rest or?
I'm feeling like I haven't done anything as far as like on watches and stuff. So
You're feeling a lot better, mate. It's coming up midnight and you're feeling. You passed your hangover. You've had something to eat and drink.
Yeah. I'll take a watch. And let the others rest. Seems like I took a lot of rest.
Lingos, she points down to the deck. He's of the half elven people, so he'll be doing a watch tonight as well. He luckily for us, he only needs 4 hours sleep. All right for some.
Yeah, I'll go and hang out with that guy.
I need to rest. I like quite a bit, if that is okay. Like a proper rest because I am not in a good way.
I should be okay.
Oh, I can take a turn on watch. I just need to meditate for a few hours.
So if you meditate while those do the first watch, and then perhaps somebody else can get up and help you with the second.
So, who's first watch?
I'll do it.
I will.
Again, was that you, Nalla?
Yeah.
Nalla. Anyone else?
I will.
You do it first.
You can't all do first watch. This is what they
Why?
say.
I'm not first watched, but
So
Okay,
he's asking first. So we need two on
who's second?
Two on
Second
first,
watch.
two on second.
So Elantara. Sendraks? Sendraks?
Or Argen,
Dead?
perhaps.
We've lost Sendraks. He's on second watch. Yeah, okay. She's alright. I appreciate it. I'll sleep better knowing that yourselves are on board. Sendraks, you sexy naked man.
Hello.
Hello. You're on second watch with Elantara.
Hi, Grand.
Like fucking Full Monty the sequel. I love it. So, first watch. You all bugger off to bed. Does anyone check on Etain?
Yeah,
Yes.
Let's all go and check on a Etain. That won't in any way be unnerving or confusing.
not at all.
Can you stop screen sharing now? It's really weird.
There you go. So wait, man. So,
send the people Etain actually likes. There you
She likes us all, right?
That's all of us.
go.
Argen, you should go.
And maybe we should send Ragesh.
Let's not talk about
We
that.
should find
Maybe keep that off the topic.
who's outside Etain's door?
Everyone.
Everyone.
So you're in a corridor that Nalla basically fills. Sendraks is close to filling.
Nalla is first. We are all hiding behind Nalla.
Washed elf.
Nalla, you're at the front blocking everyone's view of life.
No, I've gone to the front of the boat.
Oh,
The orc's there with blue eyes.
I'm going to stand nowhere near him.
Okay.
Have we spoke to
I'm
the
going to stand where I stood last night.
Okay, off to the side. The orc is basically asleep now, like some sort of really tired beast. And Blue Eyes is just watching over him and staring out to the sea. So Nalla's done that. So the rest of
Sendraks knocks.
It is Blondie, the blondie guy knocking about.
he's at the front of the ship, mate. So that it's a flat. The ferry has a large flat front, and then at the front of that is a small peak. It could probably fit 3 people stood next to each other on. At the minute, the massive orc is asleep on it, curled up, and Blue Eyes is just stood resting on a rail, looking out to sea.
I'll go speak to Blondie. I'll go over.
You go speak to Blondie, alright? So we'll do that in a sec.
Yeah.
So, Malzef, Sendraks, Elantara, are you outside the Tain's door?
Yeah. Sendraks, you knock, perhaps. You first.
Dum, dum, dum.
Thunderous smile.
You knock on the door, and you just go away.
Etain?
I don't want to speak.
Okay.
Go away, please. I don't want to speak to anyone. I'm tired.
Can you show your face to make sure we know you're okay?
No.
Alright. I will start walking off. Sendraks and Elantara, do you think that I should use my spider to see if she is okay? Last time, I mean, there wasn't a last time. But
I would not.
Are you sure?
I would not. No.
Okay. Right.
You go along. I'm going to wait till the gentlemen have moved off.
Oh.
Knock on the door again.
Alright, so Sendraks and Malzef, you've gone away, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, you knock on the door. So I said go away.
Can I get you anything? Was there anything that would help you?
It goes really quiet for a moment, no movement or anything. A drink. Strong drink.
Okay, I'll get you a drink.
And you put her off.
Yeah.
Elantara, what'd she say?
Let's...
Or do you not come back to us?
I'll come back and say, is she aware that Ragesh seems to have jumped off the ship?
I think she
No
was there.
idea.
She was no, she was there when the goblins had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's not taking that well.
No. Has she said, like, is she okay? Like, can you see her? Have you seen her?
Let's not crowd her. Let's leave her to it for now.
Okay.
And she wants a strong drink.
Well, I'm pretty sure Argen still has. Oh no, he perhaps drank it all.
No, Argen has drunk it all.
Drank it all.
Does anyone else have anything?
Drinking it all, shocker.
Anybody else? It's about 12:30 now.
I need to go get some rest.
Argen and Nalla are out on the deck. You three are still in the corridor, just away from Etain's room. You retire to your rooms?
I'll try and round up a strong drink and then go and do my meditation.
So as you're rounding up a strong drink, you bump into Byron, who was up on the deck with the map. And he's like,
Are you well?
right. Can I help you?
One of my friends is a bit shaken by the occurrences. Do you know anyone that has a drink that I could get for her?
As if by magic, he's got a water skin. He's like, yeah, Ralph, this'll do you good during the night. And he passes you this water skin.
I'm going to take the lid off and have a sniff.
It's definitely alcoholic. But it's a bit raw. It's not something you'd expect to buy off the shelf.
This may be just what is needed. Thank you, Byron.
Not a problem. And he carries on, carrying the rope out that he was carrying out onto the deck.
Glad.
So, you return to Etain's room?
Yep. We'll knock on the door and say, I found something. Definitely alcoholic. Might get used to clean hides for skinning. Might be drinkable. I'll leave it out here.
You hear movement. Do you stay outside the door or do you walk away?
I'll go a couple of steps away.
So as you go a couple of steps away, door opens. She takes a drink. She sees you. Give me a perception check.
Oh, I can do perception. 17.
Just the way she's presenting herself, her hair's like brushed forwards to hide her face. You can tell that maybe it's a 50-50 that she may have shed a tear or two. And then she just says thank you and closes the door and disappears back in the room.
Okay.
You all go back to bed? You guys go to bed?
Yeah.
Yep.
Sendraks, do you set up your trap?
Trap?
Your bed?
Oh, the barricade, yes, absolutely.
So while you're all trying to get some sleep, you hear a scraping of wood. Eddy.
Sorry.
Whatever you're listening to, mate, Jesus. Not Jesus. Don't listen to Jesus, all right? He's a beautiful man, but anyway. You hear a scraping of wood, a thudding and a banging. This is the same thing you heard the night before. It's Sendraks doing his rogue skills. Malzef, you set your things out, get ready for bed. You need your long rest to ready yourself to cast spells again.
Mm-hmm.
Becky?
Yeah?
You asleep?
No?
What were you doing?
Looking at stuff?
Yeah, of course you are. On the inside of your fucking lids. Jesus.
What?
Don't worry about it. So, Nalla and Argen, you're out on the deck. Nalla, you're stood there resting where you were with Sendraks the other night. And you see Argen pottering up to Blue Eyes.
To the blonde guy standing, not to the sleeping orc.
Yeah, Blue Eyes is the blonde guy. He's blonde hair, blue eyed.
Oh, right, okay.
And then you got the massive green orc at his feet. So you go up towards him.
I just is he just looking at the distance?
Yeah, he's just looking out, mate. He's keeping an eye on the left and right. Basically doing what you and Nalla are doing.
I just want to stand next to him, like uncomfortably close to him. Like you wouldn't want to stand next to a guy in a urinal this close, kind of close. So,
well, quite.
Just not say anything though.
Mr. Charisma.
Just gonna look in the distance.
He stood there. As you get close to him, you look. He smells beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it's like a smell that you're used to. That if you were some of the houses that you may have visited as a youth.
Is it
youth? Maybe a year or two ago when you were doing your watcher training. That when you got a bit of free time out with the lads and the lasses, pleasure houses. He's got an aroma about him that he looks after himself and scents himself. What a fucking sentence that is. Scents himself.
Scents himself. Ooh.
He's blonde, short blonde, well kept, piercing blue eyes, got a hell of a jaw on him. The shield on his back is silver bar the blue star in the centre. From what people were saying before, when he were in a battle with it, the star was glowing blue, but right now it's just a blue star. And he's just don't even flinch that you're that close to him. Just looks at you. Good evening.
Evening. I don't believe him that. Name's Argen. Hold out a hand.
Name's Rog. Puts his hand up.
Nice to meet you, Rog. Are you up our lot with the wildlife?
Hell of a fight.
Is that where you guys heading?
We're heading to Tool. Yourselves?
Same. Probably going to get another boat though.
Going to Quran?
Probably. By yourself?
Yeah, I'll probably head there myself, collect a bounty or two.
A bounty or two. Check you out.
Well, thank you.
I don't see many of those the silver dragonborn though.
I think you found there's one there back in those rooms.
Well, what I see is a 9-foot Goliath. That's what I see.
From here, she looks about 8 foot.
Yeah, size is subjective, isn't it?
It is indeed.
So, you feeling, I don't know, healthy?
Pretty healthy.
Yeah.
All 3 crocodiles smashed in a demonic gorilla.
You're pretty sure it's demonic.
Well, he's massive, albino, horns coming out of his head.
Safe guess?
I'd like to say educated, but I'll be lying.
Didn't really get to see it, not gonna lie.
How's Mr. Zach Lambert?
He's alright. How's the blue-eyed dog?
He's not blue-eyed. I'm blue-eyed.
You said
I'm blue-eyed. I'm blue eyes.
DM, you said he was blue-eyed. Okay. How's your friend? How's the massive hawk?
He gives him a kick, and he gives the Blondie gives the orc a kick. And he goes, he's okay, just resting. Very similar style of fighting to your 9-foot Goliath friend.
Ah, you see, it's all about the 9 feet. It's shorter, though, right?
There's what? Sorry.
He's a little bit shorter, though, right?
Yeah, it's a bit shorter.
I like you. You're good. You're fun.
Not so bad yourself, young man.
It makes standing watching a moving boat more interesting.
He points to the coastline and up to where you could see the fort, the town up on the cliffs before. And he's like, when I was a young lad, I used to dive off there into the sea.
Where? When I was a young lad, well, I didn't really have it. I used to sing songs, there you go, that's what I used to do as a young lad.
How old are you, boy?
18.
Fresh.
How old are you?
Double that.
Double that? Can you make me do maths?
I assume you can do maths if you can play an instrument. You're an educated man.
We didn't get that. We didn't need maths.
Where are you from, Argen?
Ravenholm.
Ah, far in the west.
Yeah. Say again?
Far in the west.
Yeah. Right in the west.
How's the wall?
I'm on a bit of a break, holiday.
On a holiday.
Well, they say it's holiday.
You go to Quran for your holiday.
See the sights of the world. You know, maybe pick up a few bounties or two.
I like your style, my friend. So what bounties are you chasing?
Well, only one of us has got a silver dragon ball.
How close am I to this conversation?
How close do you want to be?
He goes. Slosh.
Those two are on watch, aren't we?
Yep.
Did he walk past us, or did he come stand near me?
He was already at the front, and you moved off to the left. So you said where you were the night before.
Yeah.
So you're on the left, and he's at the front. Yep.
Yeah.
So you're diagonally across from him. How far away is up to you?
Earshot.
Gosh.
Of course you are, yeah. Fucking Talazan.
Okay. Seeing as you're on watch, give me a perception check.
$17.
She's in earshot. Yes, so you've heard the conversation that Argen's having.
Okay.
You are right, my friend. Only one of us does have a dragon ball, but only one of us will be cashing in the bounty.
And that's going to be us, isn't it? Let's be honest. There's only two of you.
There's only two of us that you can see.
Ah, so that means the others that are throwing balls onto the deck are with you.
Oh no, those little magic trinkets are nothing to do with my people.
Inside check.
Inside check, go for it.
Natural one.
He's telling you all the truths of his life.
Well, actually, I wish you all the best in your travels, sir.
You cashing in on the Dragonborn yourself?
No,
No, it's 5,000 gold pieces, my friend.
it's not my thing.
Will you defend the Dragonborn?
More than likely. The only thing is, buddy, you haven't seen what I can do yet. And I walk off.
You just hear him laughing to himself in a jovial way. So, Nalla, Argen comes and stands over by you. Do you say anything? Nalla.
No.
Okay.
No.
Cool. Do you say anything, Argen?
I say in giant, and I kind of give the lowdown of what the guy just said about him trying to cash in the bounty with cash in about a couple of bounties at Quran. So they're going to probably be following us, and it's more than two of them.
I heard. Thanks. In giant.
So, time passes. You guys keep an eye out. You're now, if you were to look at the map, you can see that North Bank has sort of curved away from you now and no longer there. So it's now just sea out to the north. And then South Bank is the cliff face and where the town was on top of the cliff. It gets to about 3:30, 4:15 in the morning. You're a little bit tired. You're ready to get your head down. You go back there. Blondie is still on deck looking out, and he wakes up the big orc, who now stands up. And Argen, you can see that he is big. Before he was just a mass on the floor, but He's about 7 foot, but he's as thickly muscled as Nalla, if not more, or at least it looks that way because of his shorter. Still 7 foot, man, but he's shorter than her. Covered in scars, doesn't wear any armour. His face has definitely had a battering. His tusks are broken. You see no weapon upon him, and he's up fresh, like sort of cricking his neck slowly, rolls his shoulders, and just grips the front of the ferry and starts staring out, mainly along the south coast now, south bank. Yeah, be the north coast of the map, but he's looking south. You know what I mean? And then the odd look out to the waters. Blondie gives him a nod, pats him on the back, walks past you two, and as he walks past, just gives a nod to you both, and disappears into the room areas. And the orc carries on looking. It's now 4 o'clock. Your watch is probably done now. You go wake him up.
Argen, are you going to wake him up while I wait here?
Yeah, why not? Oh, we're waking up. Who said
Elantara and Sendraks.
that? I'll go wake him up. I go to Sendraks' room first. Give him a knock.
Sendraks.
Hey up.
Yo, you up, biggin?
Right-o. Sounds of the man moving things away from his door.
Heavy wood being moved. Sendraks appears.
And I go to Elantara's room.
Is it our watch?
It's watch time.
Thank you.
No worries.
Tiny gets up, perks his ears up as there's a knock on the door.
It's all right, he's a friend.
Oh.
Oh,
Nearly as good as a crocodile.
I'm fluent in Mastiff. So, Argen, you go back out. You go to your bedroom. Elantara, Sendraks, you go out onto the deck, and Nalla is there. Nalla, you see them both. Oh, there's only the orc. There is no other member of crew out there. So you got the orc and Nalla. The orc is stood where he was stood the other night. Sendraks. Elantara is stood at the front, and you see Nalla off to the left.
anything to report, Nalla?
No, everything's fine.
Okie dokie.
Good.
Use a hollow if you need help. I'm off
Will
to bed.
do. Thank you.
Night.
Night.
Sleep well.
So you two take watch. You got the big orc at the front, and you two. Anything you wish to say, do, etc.
If the orc's watching the south bank, I'll watch the north bank.
Okay, so as the ferry's chugging along, it's now chugging along at its own. The current's taking it basically because people are asleep and yourself and that are doing watches. So the orc is watching the, like I say, the south, but it's actually the north coast of Etoria, and Sendraks, you're watching where the landmass disappears and it's now just open waters. So you've passed. You remember from the map that you pass a place called Aguro's Pass, and you see a small, a few lights just into the coastland of a little town called Merido, and you are about where Merido is on the map.
Got it.
So you don't see a right lot. Then at it gets to about 6:30 in the morning of the third day. You've got about an hour left, an hour and a half before you pass over and get everybody up. Both of you give me a perception check.
18.
18. Nice.
13.
Cool. So, as you're just, relaxing, chilling out, looking, keeping an eye on things, looking up the orc, Elantara just happens to glance up at the stars. And being a mountain druid, you can kind of guess. The stars are your ceiling as much as anyone else's. And you get a feeling that where you see these two shooting stars are further south from where you are. And if you were to look at the map, they're more central of the mountains. So if you were to draw a circle around the mountains, it'd be roughly in the middle. And you see a gold. It's quite obvious. If anyone asked you to describe this, you would say it was a gold shooting star and a silver shooting star. And they come together, and they come towards each other. And as the gold and the silver star meet each other, there is a flash. You see no actual shape formed, but the first word that enters your head is dragon. Sendraks, you only see the silver shooting star.
Oh, that's pretty.
Sendraks, did you see that?
I saw a pretty silver shooting star.
There was a gold one as well.
Ooh.
I'm not sure they were just stars.
What makes you say that?
Makes me think dragons.
That's a curious thing to think of. Why would you think?
Is that an area that's Eddy? Is that an area that's like known for dragons, or?
You don't know. You know nothing about this area of the world.
Okay. Cool.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
Not seen a dragon before.
Neither have I.
There we go then.
So,
Hold on, are you saying we've just seen dragons?
I think we've just seen dragons.
I thought they'd be bigger.
It's very far away.
Ah, that's a good point. Yeah, they probably are some distance away. If they look like shooting stars, they must be great big things. Huge.
Gouge.
So,
Is the rest of the watch quiet?
the rest of the watch is quiet. The orc didn't see a thing. Didn't budge, didn't react. Just carried on staring out at the coast and the sea.
No dragons for him.
No. It's about 8 a.m. The sun's up, has been for a while. I mean, you caught the last of the night with the shooting stars. It wasn't much not much time passed before the sun started rising after that. 8 o'clock, the crew are up, the crew are rushing round. The Goliath and the orc are back on the wheel. They're pushing it, but two of the other crew members, so the half-elf and Byron the human, they rush to the sand. They've got massive long poles that are about 10, 15 feet in length, and they're sort of on the left side of the ship. And it's, if you ask, they're basically saying to you that they're helping navigate the coastal area rather than let the ferry drift out, because this is it's a bit of a roughy water area. Ivory's out, she's checking everyone. You see her interacting with the civilians. Everyone else is up and about if they so wish. The blonde-haired, blue-eyed gentleman is back at the front with the big orc, and they're just waiting. You see now that bags are being brought out. People are bringing their bags out of their rooms. Ivory explains that with the extra help from Sendraks and Nalla, managed to shave off a couple of hours, so they expect to be in Tool in the next 2 hours, say 2.5 hours. All the civvies bring the bags out. Mr. Zaklav has packed up all his things and he's brought his bags out, and it just seems that everyone's getting ready to get off the ferry. There's still an element of fear amongst the townsfolk that were on there. Mr. Zaklav still looks a little bit rough. He's trying to put a smile on, but all of you can tell immediately that you've all been there. Forcing those smiles after a heavy night is not easy. But he's happy enough, and the kids are winding him up. Tiny just sits stoically with Elantara, and as midday approaches, you see the bustling harbour of Port Tool. There are several ships, 2-mast galleys, 3-mast galleys. There are a lot of 2-mast galleys and a lot of 1-mast galleys, and they're almost queuing out into the out at sea, all waiting to come in. And there is a single rowboat, and you guys are held off about a mile from the actual town, from Port Tool, just down the coast where the water's shallow. You can see all these boats, and there's a single rowboat. You can't see who's rowing it. You just see that there's a person there, but you can see somebody stood up, quite tall, and they're waving 2 white flags. in different shapes, different patterns, and you immediately get to see that they are directing the traffic of ships into the port. Another rowboat comes out, and there's just a young human-looking chap, really tanned, really bronzed, dark hair. It's got like almost like a slick look to it, tanned in a like thin cotton trousers, barefoot, typical of a really hot place, which is another thing you notice a lot. It's really hot around here. It doesn't surprise you that this young lad is tanned off his tits. And he pulls up and he starts speaking to Captain Ivory, and they share a little thing, a little bit of a conversation. She smiles, he smiles. She throws him a gold coin. He gets back on his little rowboat, starts rowing back towards Tool. Ivory comes over to you and she's like, so, where in next, just to get the ferry out of the way, because we have no cargo by yourselves. We'll pull in, get you off, and that'll be where we depart. So yeah, so make sure you've got all your belongings. Make sure you've got everybody with you. Again, thank you for your help with the giant crocodiles and whatever that white creature was. Good luck. Enjoy Tool. It's a beautiful place. I hope you get to Quran. I would go to there are 2 taverns I would visit if you're looking for a ship. These are the only 2 taverns that I trust, and one of them is here we go, the Dark Heart.
The Dark Heart.
Yep. And the Monster.
And the Monster. Have we docked yet?
You are about to dock. So,
can I start? I want to start scanning the keys just to see if there's anyone obviously threatening looking waiting there for us.
Perception check.
Hey! Fuck off, XP.
Can I get hold of Elantara and Tiny before we get off the ship?
Yeah.
And Malzef as well is probably best.
Okay.
And just let them know what was said earlier in the night about the blue-eyed, blonde-haired guy.
With Argen and Blondie.
Yeah.
Okay.
You,
Tell Tiny as well. Tiny's just like, oh.
you think that they would make a move on him?
Wrong Tiny. My Tiny.
Oh,
Not
okay.
Elantara's Tiny.
Okay.
You need to think of a new name for him.
Wrong Tiny. Fucking brilliant. So Sendraks, Elantara, and Malzef. Nalla told you what Argen told her the night before, and what she heard with Argen and one dead warrior. Yep. Sendraks, what was your perception check?
Appalling.
You what?
4.
4. Nice one.
4,
You struggle to keep your left eyeball in its socket.
Amazing, but also consistent.
So, as the as the ferry starts coming in, Tool opens up before you. You come round quite a high-rising jutting piece of rock, and you see Tool before you. But can only be so where you were in Cruel, where all the shops were makeshift and only supposed to be there for a few days, that then became permanent structures. This place is definitely permanent. It's quite wealthy. From you can see this immediately. Like there is about 15 ships waiting to come into the harbour and dock, and there are already 3 ships in the 5 bays, as it were. It's a very large. Most of the focus of the town is the docking bay. The town itself looks wealthy, but doesn't look massive. Probably double the size of Cruel, but it definitely focuses on getting docked, getting cargo off, and getting out. There are 3 massive warehouses that you can see dock workers of various flavours: human, orc, dwarf, half elf, halfling. They're all rushing around, moving barrels, moving crates. moving sacks. There are people shouting to move things to get a lot. There seems to be several foremen running around the place, blowing whistles. There's a lot more of these coloured flags going on, the blues and greens, and you can see that they're used immediately to signal where people need to take certain crates and certain boxes, whether they be silks or spices or weapons, etc. The people there are all very fantastic, all very. They've got that. They're very Mediterranean. They've got the olive skin, whether it be natural or too much time in the sun. Their hair is generally darker colours. Not many of them are wearing. Well, they're wearing as little clothing as they can. It's incredibly warm, and they're doing a lot of manual labour. You can see that the ships coming in and out of. They seem to be racial. So out of the three that are there, 2 of them are 2 galleys, 1 of them's a 3 galley, and the 3 galley is all elves, and their sails are very. They're not. The shape of the sail is not as. It's more triangular than the squarey rectangles of the other 2, and the other 2, one's an orc ship and one's a bit more mixed of humans and orcs. The full orc one, they're wearing, or at least they appear to be wearing, similar clothing that when Prince Johann appeared in Cruel, and where the Viconians dressed themselves with a bit more suede and a bit more fur, but they've stripped down as much as they can. The human orc one again seems to have a bit more of a northern Viconian survive feel, and the elven one, you have not got a clue. But the clothing they wear is very nice. It's light, keeps them warm. Their hair's very well kept. Several of them have top knots. Several of them have single braids. It's all very different. It stands out a lot. And then the 15 ships out at sea, you've no idea till they come closer. As you come down, Ivory talks to a dockmaster. She comes over. Ivory gives her a bag of coins. She takes the bag of coins, puts them on. Again, she's a dark-haired human. She's got a clipboard. She's got scrolls and scrolls of parchment. She's making notes, and she's pointing to the thingy. And then Ivory and her, they hug. Ivory comes up to you guys and she says, "Welcome to Tool."
Is there any chance that I've seen you have the maps of Etoria? Could we perhaps get hold of one to keep?
Ivory literally reaches inside her jacket, sort of robe type piece of clothing, pulls out the rolled up piece of Etoria, the map that she was using the night before, and she just hands it to you. She's like, a gold, I'll take a gold off you. Usually cost me to get these made, and I'll have to get another one made.
I think I have a gold. Yes, thank you.
There you go. She pockets the coin. She gives you a lot on, and again, thank you. Take care of yourselves. It's good luck with your lives. And she jumps back on the ferry. Just overhearing people, the ferry's not going to be going anywhere for a day. They're going to rest up, see if anyone else wants to go back to Cruel, and they can chill out basically in Tull for a little bit. When you look past the docks and you look like over where all the workers are, you can see the row of merchants basically. There are several establishments that probably claim to be taverns. There are quite blatantly several establishments that are pleasure houses. There are, and that's all on the left. So imagine you were to split the seafront in half. On the left, you'd have the taverns and pleasure houses, and on the right, you have the more general goods stores, or those that would sell trinkets and potions and things of travel. And then it leads further up into quite a steep hill where the residential area is. And you're now in Port Tool.
I might need to find a better way of hiding myself. This is rather hot.
By the way, you've all took a long rest, so.
This climate does not do well for my heavier dress. Although in the desert it is more a drier heat. think this is quite humid.
It is very humid.
We should perhaps inquire at these two taverns, or at least one of them, as to somebody going to Quran.
So we need to find a room or a few rooms.
If we find the Dark Hut, for example, and head there and ask about a boat heading north.
Yeah, if we go and inquire first. And then see if somewhere we want to stay.
Let's head further in and see what we can find. There must be some sort of like town square, or I don't know. Let's find out. Let's explore a bit.
Mm-hmm. Is there any shops knocking about, or is it just like just way in the port?
Well, they're not immediately next to you. You'd have to walk past the workers. But yeah, the shop's ahead of you.
Are you looking for a shop in particular?
Seems like the thing we do when we're between things.
I do not have any money to spend in shops, but
I think we need to earn more money. This is 10.
perhaps if we inquire at the tavern as to a ship going north,
Sendraks?
if it is a regular.
Yeah.
You don't. Sorry, Malzef. You do not like this weather. Being a silver dragon, your centre is cold, and you're in armour, heavy armour, and in a Jedi robe. So you enjoy that.
It's a bit hot. Can we get somewhere cool, please?
Like I say, we should find a tavern, ask about a boat heading north, and perhaps ask if there are any jobs we could do around the city to earn a bit of money before we head north. If we are going to go to Quran, we should make sure we are well supplied and well financed for anything that might
Yes, it's
come
not
up.
a short trip.
Yes, and also anything that might come up within the city that we might have to throw money at to keep ourselves alive.
I'm certainly a bit light on the old coin.
So yes, we should explore the city. We have all day, and then as long as we make sure we find this Dark Heart place at the end of it.
What Dark Heart's supposed to be
or even if we find a tavern for now, and we find the Dark Heart tavern later, as long as we are.
Let's find a tavern,
Yes.
and then we can ask around while we're there.
Yes, but we should explore.
Okay,
We have
fine.
at least we'll spend the morning exploring, and then the rest of the morning and early afternoon, and then make sure we end up in a tavern.
Yeah.
We should have enough to keep ourselves alive.
As so you're setting off like into the taverny area.
Or any area, really, just exploring, I guess. But if there's taverns about,
So you walk up your large gangplank into the bigger dock area where all the workers are. As expected, it is stacked with crates and barrels and excess rope and sacks and people bumping into each other, bustling about. Everyone's either really happy or quite snappy with each other. You go past that, you get into the open sandier area, sandstone-ish floor. And as I say, the path goes forward, and then in front of you is a large structure. It's about 15 feet high, but it's got material hanging over it. Two gentlemen are stood there, bickering in Elven, but they're not elves. So Elantara, other than Elantara, who of you speak Elven? Just Elantara, yeah. You can hear them arguing about who gets to pull the material off and reveal what's under it. Just past that, you can see where the taverns stretch, and they are quite clearly taverns. They could not get more obvious if they tried. There are people outside each of these 6 buildings, all holding tankards or mugs, frothing, drinking, and above them and just to the right there are ladies and gents of various flavours of race, offering their services quite confident. Anyone will listen. And then you can see the more, like I say, more merchant-esque side of it off to the right, where people would buy things less consumable than a gentleman for the night or a pint. As the two are arguing, they notice you. They notice you lot. Sendraks, are you staying hidden all Emperor-esque with your robe?
I'm doing my best.
Cool. Yep, they look at you both and they're like, both human, both. They look about 60, but they look good for 60. You know what I mean? They've had a good life, Mediterranean life, strong diet. And they're like, oh, hello, newcomers. We're having a bit of a problem. We're not having a problem. You're having a problem. No, you're having a problem. We want to unveil this to our great portrait tool. We've worked a lot of time on it. I worked a lot of time on it. But we're not arguing about this right now. And we wish to unveil it to the world, or to Tool. But we can't decide who'll do it. Will you help us? He just looks at you. They're literally just two old codgers, dressed up. One's got a chisel in his hand, one's got a hammer in his hand.
Why?
They just grab the first random lot that they've seen.
Why not both pull it at the same time and we'll count you down?
I'm going to step back a bit.
Because he will pull it first. No, I won't. Yes, he will.
Do you want a crowd while you do this, or?
That would be amazing. Yes, a crowd. Why didn't we think of that?
Why do I do this to myself?
Can you get me a crowd? You look like
why not?
Get me a crowd. Get me a crowd.
Okay. What is it, by the way? What were we availing?
It's a statue. A statue of the greatest hero of the Etorian Empire.
Argen, are you going to announce something, are you? Or
Yeah, why not?
I can, if I do this, and I'll click my fingers and cast Thaumaturgy, and the sound of like horns, like trumpets, start sounding out around.
Oh, nice.
So he whispers in your ear that he's the greatest hero of the Etorian Empire, and his name is Bahamut.
Bahamut.
Yeah, he whispers it to you.
Greatest hero.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Right, okay. I use prestidigitation, I think, to like create sort of sparks and stuff, little
So you got the music blowing, the trumpets are going, sparks are coming up,
yeah.
And you announce,
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, races of all flavours, I here are going to reveal a statue of the greatest warrior of the Etorian Empire, Bahamut.
and as you do that, the two gentlemen grab this sheet and pull. Everyone's come. Like all these people, as soon as this music started going, the sparks started going off, the dock workers slowed down, sort of looked over, see what was going on. Your voice is carrying, and they're like, "What the?" And now you've got a decent crowd on this unveiling. The shroud comes down, and you immediately see in Sendraks there is a split moment where your world is frozen in time. There is a thick 3 foot high pillar, and stood on this, well, not a pillar, sorry, it's more of a plinth, whatever. It's and on it is a about 14 foot high, muscled, hulking warrior who looks very much in stature like Nalla. The thickly muscled rather than heavily detailed muscle, carrying a massive two-handed warhammer, and the head of the warhammer, this is all stone and marble sculpted. The head of the warhammer is covered in arcane runes that none of you recognise without a bit of time to look at, Malzef. Standing there, and then as you go up, this hulking, clearly Goliath figurine has what can only be described as a draconic pelt over it. So the head of the dragon is over its head, so its teeth are just coming down the brow, and it is this Goliath is clearly wearing the skin of a massive, or it appears to be massive because it's 15-foot dragon scale as a pelt and a thick belt, and then on the buckle is the symbol of the Etorian Empire, which you only know to be 2 shields and a single sword. And that's just from hearing people talk about it on the ferry.
Can't say I'm a fan.
And and etched into the stone, it says Bahamut, greatest warrior of the Etorian Empire. And we shall end it there for tonight.
That bombshell.
There you go.
And that bombshell.
Jesus. Welcome back, Sarah. Welcome back, Sam.
Good to be back.
Yeah.
Aye.
Right. Sarah, I need you to go up to level 5 because you're currently on level 3.
Okay.
Right, so from here on, if you miss sessions, you will gain XP slower. So some of you might end up like 1 or 2 levels between the groups, like, you know.
Yep.
But you should all be on 5. Yeah. Argen, you need to go up to 5. Elantara, you need to go up to 5. The rest of you are all right. Yeah, so from as of next week, anything past 5, so if you're missing sessions, I know you can't help it, but if you're missing sessions, I'll do the XP a little bit slower, so it's staggered. So you might find yourself somebody a level higher than you or whatever, but it shouldn't be too big a deal. I'm also going to start streaming as next week. I've got a camera coming. I've got some minis. Thank you, Giles, by the way.
Pleasure, mate.
So I've been sifting through them to do some more stuff, get some more battle maps. Kenny's kindly said he'll 3D print some stuff off for us as well. So I'll get some hopefully decent battle maps coming out, or at least fun battle maps. Yes, what we'll do also is at the minute we use Hangouts, but me and Eddy were looking at something called Lightstream, and it is so simple, it's unbelievable. Basically, we put a link in the Facebook, exactly like Hangouts, and you join. And that's it. That's all you've got to worry about. And you'll be able to see the stream, how people watching the stream do. So it's pretty cool. We've got, well, I'll show you it next week before we kick off, but little things like a little slideshow that starts first, and there's a little, and it shows all the characters to everyone watching. So it's really cool. You'll get to see it next week.
That sounds amazing.
As long as you guys are all okay with being streamed.
I may wear more clothes. I may not.
Why? Mate, we'll just. It's
I'm
all
gonna
right,
wear less.
technology. We'll just put a. Yeah. We'll just
The
put a warning
black
to
spot.
it.
As of next week, I should have a ukulele, so I'll be extra annoying.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I'm out.
Sam, Sarah, do you have any questions about your characters while you've got me?
No, we're all good.
Coolios. Look after
So
Tiny.
sad.
So with Tiny,
Next level.
Yay! Tiny goes on your initiative, love. So you can either make him go before you or after you, but it'll be on your turn.
Okay.
And again, he's all yours, love. So I'll let you do stuff.
Go.
Feel free to not have him in a fight if you don't want him, but yeah. Yeah, that should be it. So now you're in Tool. I'll give you a map. I'll try, but I can't promise. Try and get a bit of a sketchy map of what Tool looks like. And then if you guys go exploring, you've got somewhere to explore a bit better. But we should be all right if not. So yeah.
Sweet. Love it.
Cool.
Excellent.
Matt, lots of love. Well, I'll probably see most of you this weekend.
Yeah.
If not all of you.
Hey, is there an event on?
I'm digging out my talent.
Fable's 2.5. It's going to be
Yeah,
it.
Fable's 2.5 is going to be amazing.
I need a fort building.
Awesome.
Come dressed exactly as you are, Giles.
All right.
Get those nipples tanned up, lad.
Hey.
So, Sarah, Giles, you're down on Friday, aren't you?
Yeah, we'll
Sam,
be
are you-
down sort of Friday evening.
Are you down on Friday, Sam?
Can be. Where do I need to be on Friday though?
Well, we'll be on the site most of the day, and then I've got to come and get Dom and Sam. Eddie's off to pick Noodle up. There's a few of us. There's a fair few of us going to be on site Friday night, just to chill out and put tents up and stuff.
Getting rickety wrecked.
Rickety wrecked. And then on Saturday, one of us will get married to somebody else.
I shall.
To be decided.
Keys in a bowl.
Keys in a bowl.
I'll see what the.
And Giles already done it. We're out.
Yeah, you can officiate.
Whoop.
Okay, I can do that. Totally.
I'll see
You-
Exactly how you dress.
Yeah.
what Jane wants to do, and then we'll go from there.
That's
Cool.
fair.
Guys, I'll see you soon.
Love you and leave you. See you in a few days.
See you in a few days. Amazing.
Bye.
Bye everyone. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye bye.